Hello everyone, welcome to VuzzaRe, and in this video we will learn some more programs of exception handling in Java. So the first one is this is a self-made exception in Java. Like suppose if the user enters a negative number, so in this case we have to throw an exception, like you cannot enter a negative number in this case. So this will be a self-made exception, like it's not automatically in the Java class file. So for this we have our class called class negative number exception, which extends the class exception. This is an automatic class, default class in the Java. So that is which contains the classes like arithmetic exception or like null pointer exception or array index out of bound exception. All are in this class only exception. So we are extending it for one more class, that is negative number exception, and inside this we have one constructor negative number exception, and we call the super. So this will just nullify. So we have class number, and inside this we have a method called void process input, and this will input a number and it will throw a negative number exception. So we write void process input int num throws negative number exception, and if the number is less than 0, if num is less than 0, throw new negative number exception, else num equal to num into 2, else we will multiply the number with 2, just double the number. And inside the main function we have, inside this is our main class. So we have negative number demo, and we have main method, and we create one object ob for new number, and we write enter a number, and this will input a number. So inside try we have ob dot process input. So process input will enter the number n, and it will go here and check if number is less than 0. So if it's less than 0, it will throw negative number exception, and super will be called, and it will just give the show the error. So we have catch negative number exception e, and we have negative number exception found. So when we try to run it, it's like enter a number. Suppose we give the number as -23. So it's like the answer is negative number exception found. The answer is negative number exception found. And suppose in the other case, if we give another input like suppose 10, then it's not a negative number, so the output will be 20. So this is the first program. We have one more self-made exception. Inside this what we have to do is we have to check, like if the hour is more than 24 and less than 0, then we have to show an exception, and if minute and second are less than 0 and more than 60, then we have to show the error. So what we do is, similarly we make a class hours HRS exception. This is the HRS exception, which extends the same default class, which is exception, and we have a constructor and it calls super. Similarly for minute we have min exception, extend exception, and we have a constructor here and it calls super. And similarly for second we have sec exception, extends exception, and here we have a constructor and we call super. And now we have a class time. So this class time will have 3 variables, hour, minute and second, and we have a time constructor for time, and it will just assign the values. And we have display, void display, which will throw HRS exception, minute exception and second exception if the error is found, if the exception is found. Suppose if hour is less than, so we have throws, and we have like if hour is less than 0 or hour is greater than 24, throw new HRS exception. So if this is the case, then throw this. Otherwise, if this is the case, minute is less than 0 and minute is greater than 60, and in this case throw minute exception. And if second is less than 0 and second is greater than 60, then throw this second exception, sec exception. And we have our class, public class called time exception demo, and inside this we create one object for time, which is ob1, and we give the value suppose 13, 12 and 100. So in this case the second is more than 60, which is 100 in this case. So this will throw the second exceptions. So second exception like this one, So we put the object into the try block, and we look if there is an error, if there is an exception. So in this case the exception will be this one, so it will throw this exception, throw this sec exception, and it will catch. So first we'll have to make the catch blocks. So for our exception we have HRS exception HH, and we print out our exception found. Similarly for minute we have this one, and for second we have this one. So if we try to run it, in this case it shows second exception found because our value was greater than 100. And suppose if we give the value of hour as 130, so in this case it will show hours exception. See, this time the exception is hours exception found. And now if we have to see the order, then suppose we give two orders, two exceptions, and see which one gets printed first. So it shows hour exception because first we have, in our case, first we have this hour exception, so this is thrown first, and similarly this is also cached first. So catch block we have for hour first, so hour will be done first, and then we will look for minute and second exception. And the third program is the use of finally. So for after try and catch we have one finally block, so we will see the use of finally. So the class is use finally demo, and we have int data which is 25 by 0, so this is arithmetic exception here, and we system.out print ln data, but data should not be printed in this case. And we have catch arithmetic exception, and we have finally. So finally will be implemented in all the case. So it's like inside catch block and inside finally block. So I hope you understood the program. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos.